Okay, welcome everyone to the TILO Presents webinar. Coming up in just a few minutes. We'll get started right around 3:30. Please note that the image you see there, there's a document for you to submit any questions during the presentation. And let me know if you have any other questions. You can email me. This is Carrie. Reply to your reminder email if you have any other questions. Otherwise, we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started. It's about 3:30. Welcome to our 15th TILO Presents webinar session via Google Hangouts here on air. My name is Carrie Rasak, and I'm the Integration Specialist here at Rossford Schools in Northwest Ohio, up by Toledo. We're so glad you can join us, whether live now or during a recording that you're watching later. For today's session, we have Nidhi Gupta, who is from Constellation Schools, and she'll be presenting on Search plus Research, Google like a Pro. And just want to let you know that this will be about a 60-minute session with some time at the end for questions, but there's the question document that is attached that hopefully you saw there, and it's also in the description on the YouTube page. Hopefully you can get to that if you have questions, or again, you can just reply to the reminder email and I will get those on there if that's the easiest way for you to submit questions. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. And now I'll let Nidhi take over and introduce herself and get started with the presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nidhi Gupta, and I work as a technology integration coach with Constellation Schools at TILOhio. I have been in the field of technology and education for almost 10 years now, and I have got various opportunities to present at Constellation Schools, Spark, TILOhio, but this is my first webinar, so I would like to apologize in advance for any mistake that you see or hear. Going too fast or too slow. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen, my presentation. There we go. Okay, so the topic that I'm going to talk about today is called Search plus Research, Google like a Pro. You must be wondering, what is there in searching to learn about? All you have to do is just type in the search term in Google and hit enter. We all know that Google is the first largest search engine. While Google may have started as a search engine, but now it is much, much more than that. Using Google's specialized searching tools and strategies, we can quickly find the best answer to almost any question. So let's see. While I was making my presentation, I came across this code. I found it a little funny, but yes, it is true. Google must be a woman. It will start suggesting things even before you finish your sentence, which is very true. Okay, now when I was in my school, during my childhood days, my teacher always used to say that ask 3 before me. That means you were supposed to ask 3 classmates of yours before you come to the teacher. But now, what I feel that this is more adapted to ask 3 before me, that you can ask a classmate, or you can ask Google, or you can, YouTube being the second largest search engine, you can actually ask YouTube. So I found this poster that I found really good, and if you want to put somewhere in the class, so I have a link there to do that. Okay, now I have prepared my presentation from 2 perspectives. One, from students' perspective, how we can benefit students from this presentation and how it's going to benefit teacher. And of course, whatever applies to students applies to teachers as well. So from students' perspective, I'm going to talk about how to choose the search string wisely, utilize the filters, analyze the search results, use reverse image search, utilize keyboard shortcuts, use Explore Research tool. Coming to the first part. Now, the first step in becoming a search smart is choose the right search string. So before you actually go ahead and start searching, always think before you search what is exactly what you're looking for. So let's say in my class, we are doing a class project which is related to rainforest, and everyone get to choose their own rainforest, and I chose Amazon. One way of doing it is, if I just on the Google search engine, I type Amazon, though I'm looking for rainforest, but the expected result may be all about Amazon, where we can do online shopping. So what I want to say is, whenever you're trying to search something, always never use a single word. Be more descriptive. So if I'm looking for Amazon rainforest, it's better to write Amazon rainforest rather than just Amazon. So try to be more descriptive and avoid stop words. By stop words, I mean extremely common words like is a common word, then can, but, from. All these are common words. So when we are searching, we can avoid those words. While preparing for this presentation, I was looking at Anthony's webinar at Spark, and I just love the idea that whenever we are searching something, we need to train our kids to look for more technical and unique words while searching. Like if they are doing a research project for Amazon rainforest, they already know what they're looking for, Amazon rainforest, but they might not have that search string at all times. Consider a different situation where, let's say it's a middle school and they are doing a research about plants, and each one of the students get to choose their own plants. And let's say I chose mango plant, mango being my favorite. And what I'm going to do is I will go to the search engine and I will say, okay, mango plant. And there are the list of all the websites that I get. So now there are two things that can be done from here. Either I start these websites and I start collecting my research material. Or the second way of doing it is I get a technical word for a mango plant, then put that in the search engine and then go for research. So I'm using my first search for just getting a technical term. So let's say I get my so now I know that scientific name for mango plant could be Magnifera indica. So I might copy that. I paste it. And now if you see, I have more relevant search results. So always try to look for technical terms and not the common terms.
Nidhi, can I interrupt for a sec?
Yes, absolutely.
We had a question. Your microphone was kind of cutting out, like I guess mine was earlier a little bit. And the question is, what were those stop words again? Because we couldn't hear your examples of stop words.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the stop words are the most extremely common words like but, like, from, able, and all those words. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's sounding better now. So keep going. Yep.
Okay. So the technical words, as I said, should be try to look for more technical words. Now, the next question is, where can I find those technical words? The answer to that question is look for secondary resources. Like we always tell our students that not to go for Wikipedia for researching, but obviously we can go to Wikipedia to get those technical words. Or even if you're not going to Wikipedia, your first search will actually give you your technical words. First page, just pick up the technical terms and then put them again to look for more results. Okay, so do the first search to find your successful research. And this is why we call it research. I love that idea of that search is actually research. Okay, now these are some common facts about Google as a search engine. Some of you might already know it, but I thought that it's better if I put them there. Out of all the 4, 3 are truth and 1 is lie. So let's read. Searches are not case sensitive. Word order does not matter. Google ignores most punctuation and symbols with few exceptions. Google uses automatic word stemming. Out of the 4, I wish I can get an answer from you, but I will tell you the answer. Out of the 4, the second word order does not matter, is the lie. Searches are not case sensitive. So whether you're writing in uppercase or you're writing in lowercase, it's not case sensitive. But word order does matter. So instead of if I write plant mango, it does matter what I'm putting first. So word order does matter. Now Google, it ignores all the punctuation with few exceptions that we will be talking about later in the session. Now, whenever we are putting a search term, Google, it uses a word stemming algorithm to find out all the links. So there is a possibility that all the results that are coming on the first page might not be the best results. So either you put the specific terms that you're looking for, or I would suggest at least go to 2-3 pages at least to see all the links. Now coming to the second part, which is now we have the right search term. Now we can even searches by using filters. So let's see how we can do that. In order to refine our data, there are 2 ways we can use the filters. We can either filter by advanced search option, or we can filter by operators and modifiers. So let's get started with advanced search option. Say I want to find a 5-minute video about George Washington. So I will say George Washington. Now, this is my search string on the top. I can narrow down my results by choosing the type. So if I'm looking for a video, right now it's on all. So I can see all the results, whether it's a book, whether it's images, whether it's video. I want to narrow it down just by videos. The moment I narrow it down, I just see the videos. I can narrow it down further. Tools. Now these tools are specific to the type that we have chosen. So what do you see for videos? You might not see the same for images. So for videos, we have tools like duration, where we can choose what's the length of the video we are looking for. Time, like when was it published? Then it could be quality you're looking for. So you can choose. So if I'm looking, let's say a 5-minute video, so I might go for this, the medium length. And I'm going to get all the results that are for that duration. Now coming to images. Again, I'm going to click on tools, and it's going to show me all the tools that are related to images. In this, large, medium, icon, those are the sizes. But something really interesting that I want to point out is exactly here you can actually give the pixels or the size of the image you are looking for. Not everyone is aware of that. So if you're looking for specific size, this is the place. Now coming to color. The term color is self-explanatory, but I want to mention it here, something called transparent. Let's say you have a presentation which has a black background, and some of the times we put pictures which has a white background or a white box behind it, and we might not like it. We want to remove that box, or we want to look for the pictures which has a transparent background. So this is one place where we can go. So if we click on transparent, we will get George Washington video. You will see images which has a transparent background behind them. So this is something we can teach our students, that where to look for the transparent background. Now the next one I want to point out is usage rights. Now, this is very important in the sense that not all images are labeled for reuse, and students might pick images which has a watermark behind them or which are copyrighted. So I would always suggest that when you're teaching them how to look for images, you should also talk about that, look for images that are labeled for reuse. Selection from there. So let's going back to your presentation. So we search for George Washington, we choose the type, and then we choose the tool that we are looking for. And that's how we narrow it down. Now coming back to our reverse search. Now here I want to mention one more thing. Now there is something called reverse image search. The other day I was reading Eric Kurtz's blog, and this is where I found this. Let's say instead of you looking for an image, you already have an image and you're looking for an information related to that image. How can we utilize that feature? So is we are going to go to images.google.com, and we are going to load the image that we already have. So I will go to my computer drive. I will load an image. Let's say my teacher provided me with an image, but I have no clue what this image is all about. This could be like a daily starter in your class, where you provide an image to the students and ask them that, okay, go ahead and look where this image belongs to. So I loaded my image, and then Google is going to search where does this image belongs to. So you see the results. So it was part of World War II, nuclear explosion. So this could be used as a daily starter. These are some of the ideas that you can use the reverse image search feature. You can use it for learning more about an historical image, finding the location of where a photo was taken, determining what an unknown object is, and fact-checking a questionable image. Coming back to my filters, the next thing is using operators and modifiers. Now, the first question that comes is, what are operators and modifiers? Now, whenever you're searching, you modify your search by putting some special symbols next to them, and that tells Google that what is there exactly like you're looking for. So if I give you an example, we always tell our students that not to go to Wikipedia. So let's say I'm looking for something. I'm looking for Manhattan Project, but I do not want Google to bring something from Wikipedia. So I will say minus wiki. And now you can see there are no Wikipedia results. So minus here is actually an operator. So there's a huge, I won't say huge, but yes, a good list of operators that we can actually use. So if you look like exact phrase, let's say I'm looking for top 10 countries in the world. If I write top 10 countries in the world, Google is actually going to consider top 10 countries in the world as all separate words. What if I want to tell Google that take it as one string? This is exactly what I'm looking for. So if I put it inside the quotes, this tells Google that I'm looking for exactly this. And I have all the results that are exactly for this one. There you go. Here is our answer. We have excluded words, which I've just explained. Similar words is there. Then if you're looking for a definition of any of the words, all you have to write is you write define, you put a colon, and you write the term you're looking for, and Google will bring the definition of that word. Then, okay, so let's go back. So this is exactly what I was talking about. So if you're looking for something, looking for the website without Wikipedia, this is how you can do it. Now coming to the third thing here, that's called analyzing. Once we have chosen the right terms, we have filtered our results, we have the website, and now it's time to analyze the content. Let's say I'm making a project on Manhattan and I got all these lists. Now it's time for me to analyze. How our normal approach of a student is they look at the blue font first, then they look at the green, then they look at this black. But I would like to mention here that we should not be looking at the blue first. We should always look at the green first, because by looking at the green, the address itself tells you whether you should be going to this website or not. So if you look on the first link, the first one says Wikipedia, the green text, so that itself tells me that there's no point going to this website. Now, if you look at the third link there, the green text here shows me IMDb, which is actually a video site. I do not, at this point, I do not want to buy any video, and I am not looking for videos. So there's no use going to this website either. So this link tells me that, okay, this is one I can refer to. Now, once I have looked at the green text, gray text, because sometimes what I'm looking for might have two different meanings. Maybe the word that I'm talking about might happen in America as well as in some other country. So the description in gray tells me, is this exactly what I'm looking for? Once you have seen that, yes, this is what exactly I'm looking for, then you go for the blue text. So our order should not be like blue, green, and black. It should be like green, then black, and then blue. So does that mean that the best sites are not always on the first place? Yes, you're right. So it's very important that we narrow down our searches so that what we are getting on the first page is worth. Okay, so let's say now we have chosen the website we want to go to and we are on that website. But now that website might be, let's say, 100 pages long, and you cannot expect a student to read all those 100 pages. So then we have to train our students to do skimming and scanning using the magic of Control F. So let's say if I go and I say, okay, Manhattan Project minus wiki, and I go to this website, and I want to look for all the places where the word atomic is coming. So I'm going to press my Control F. The moment I press my Control F, there's a small window that's going to appear here. I'm going to write my word, what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for atomic, and I press Enter. The moment I press Enter, it's going to start highlighting the words wherever atomic is coming. And if I keep on clicking Enter, so it's going to go to the next instance of the word. So this way, they can first do skimming and scanning what exactly they are looking for, and then they can read it in detail. So I find it like, just like Alice Keeler, I'm a big fan of these keyword shortcuts, and I use them all the time. We can actually have an objective that each week we are teaching one of the keyword shortcut to our kids. This makes their life very easy, and if their life is easy, our life is easy as well. So these are some more keyboard shortcuts. Like for zooming in, if I want to zoom in this window, I'm going to press Control+, and it's going to zoom it to 110 and similarly more. Now, cycle tabs, this is important. Like when you're researching, there are so many websites that you're going to, and you have 10 different tabs on the top. One way is I go up and I click with my mouse all those tabs. Or if I want to cycle between the tabs without using my mouse, I can press Control Tab. So I press Control Tab, and it's going in cycles. And this is very important for the students, and this is very important for the teachers as well. Sometimes let's assume that students are researching and by accident they closed one of their tabs and they realize that, oh, that was a very important tab that I just closed. If you want to reopen the tabs that you just closed by accident, you can press Control, Shift, and T. That was the last tab that I closed. So I'm back to that tab. Now this is good for the student, but it's like a miracle for the teachers, because sometimes like when you're walking in the class and the students are on games and they close it the moment you walk close to their desk, then all you have to do is on their laptop, if you press Control Shift T, it's going to pop up the last window they were on. So if once or twice you're doing that in your class, then they will be scared to do this. Besides this, there are some more. This is the general list that I've created, and I'm planning to implement this in the next school year. That I'm targeting that every week I'm going to introduce one shortcut with my kids, so that by the end of the year they're all familiar with it. Now, most of these you might be already familiar with, but some of them might be new and they're very useful. So this is the list that I have created. If you are looking for a list from Google, if you press Control and slash, Google is going to pop up with its own list. Now, this has loads of keyword shortcuts. I do not want to scare the kids with so many shortcuts. That's why I created my own list, which is a smaller one. These ones, everyone is aware of. What I'm not going to show all of them, but just few of them. We all know what's the function of Control C and Control V, but all of us are not aware of what does Control Shift V does. So let's say have a blank document and I go to the website. Where is that? And I go to this website and I really like the text. So I'm going to copy this. I press my Control C. I come back to my document And normally what I do is I do Control V. So if I do Control V, it's going to bring the font style from that website. What if I doesn't want that font style to come with it? I go to another website, let's say this energy one. And I copy a text from here. So you see that both of them are on a different format. What if I do not want the text to bring its formatting with it? So what I'm going to do is, when I'm copying, instead of pressing Control V, I'm going to press Control Shift V. So that way it's not going to bring the formatting, and it's going to stay what was the font set for this document. So Control Shift V is a good one to use and to teach the students. Otherwise, they might have text which is highlighted at the back, and one paragraph might be in Arial, the other might be in Times New Roman. Okay. And in case they have pasted and they want to then remove formatting, all they have to do is Control Space, and it will remove the formatting. This is a good one. So if they are making mistakes while they're typing, they can continue typing. Once they are done with their typing, if they press Control and a colon, then they will actually start jumping from one word to another with the wrong spelling. And I think we are good there. Okay. So if Control plus is for zooming in, what is the keyboard shortcut for zooming out? It is Control minus. Okay, this is a very important one. Now, recently, if I'm very sure you must have seen that recently, if you have opened a sheet or you have opened slides or you have opened doc, it always comes up with something called Explore button. So if we go, so let's say I open this. Let's say this is the doc working on, and they want to see more about this Manhattan project. There is always that Explore button on the side. If you click on the Explore button, it's going to show all the topics that are related to our topic. It's also going to show the images. So instead of looking on the Google, you can actually see all the images from here. And if you really like one image, all you have to do is drag it, and it's going to be in your document. Now, what is so special about having an image from here and not from the external Google search engine? If you actually click on the image, you will see the link for that image. Where is that image coming from? But if you are searching from external search engine, external Google, then you won't have this link. So this is one advantage there if you are using the Explore Research button. Also show all the related articles in here. More. It's going to show more articles related to your topic. Now, let's say I want to do the citation. Let's say I do Manhattan Project. We can even do the citation in here. If you see these codes, this tells you that these are the citations. So if you add it, it's going to add it below this page. So here you go. So this Explore button lets you add citation also. In case you want to change the format of citation, you can choose from here. It will let you see MLA, AP, and Chicago. By default, it's MLA. So if you click on the code, that's what is inserted. Okay, coming to Google Scholar. Now, Google Scholar is a specialized, I would say, search engine, which is more geared towards high school and academic articles. You can very well search for the articles on Google on the general search engine, or you could go for something special that's attributed just for the articles, which is called Google Scholar. How can I access Google Scholar? That's my next question. So if I want to access Google Scholar, the tabs, I will actually show you there first. All I have to type in is scholar.google.com. Now, I am more of a keyboard person, so I would always like typing first instead of clicking. So I always tell my students and my teachers that think of Google as the last name. So if you think of Google as the last name, first name will be whatever you're looking for. So if you're planning to go to a doc, so you will write docs.google.com. If you're going to go for a drawing, so we are going to write drawings.google.com. So if I'm planning to go to Scholar, so I'm going to write scholar.google.com. So whatever you're looking for in Google, that goes as the first name and Google being the last name. So if I type scholar.google.com. Now, Google Scholar is free, so you're more than welcome to go ahead and use it. Now, here is where you can write what you're looking for, or you can go to the advanced search. Let's say I'm looking for all the articles that are related to encryption. It gives us various options here, and all of them are very self-explanatory. Like if you're looking, if I write encryption, so it's going to, if I have more than one word here, so it's going to, if I write it here, it's going to look for all the words. If I'm looking for something exact phrase, I'm going to write it here. If I'm looking for articles which has even one of the words, that's where I write. All these options, these are self-explanatory. Am I looking for what my title only in the title, or it could be anywhere in the article? Then you can search the article by the name of the author or when it was published, or you can search even by dates. Search for the articles, and these are my search results. These search results are different from what you search on a Google search engine. It has little more information than on this page than Google search engine. So if you look on the side, the words on the side in the brackets, just like citation, HTML, book, these are the formats of the articles, whether it is in HTML format, whether it's in the form of a book. This is the name of the article. Now the text in green, it's actually the publication information. So it will tell you the name of the author, the publisher, the website where it is from, and the date. Now coming to this black text, this gives you the information about what that article is talking about. Now this blue text, though that's very small, but this is one of the most important thing on this page. So this talks about how many times this article is cited. And if relevant and you're looking for articles similar to this one, so you can go to related articles. How many versions of this article was created? How can we cite it? How can we save it? Now, the only thing with Google Scholar is sometimes what happens that you click on the article and you find that that article was paid. You need to pay to read that article. So what I would suggest, if you look at on the right side, if the articles have a link on the side, that means they are free. If they do not have a link on the side, so there might be a possibility that they are paid. What I can look from here, that all these are free. So if you click on the article, you're more than welcome to read those. So if you are in a high school, I would say Google Scholar is one of the good places where high school students can research on. I have a video here in case you are, this is something that you can actually show to your high school students. This is one way how you can introduce Google Scholar. It is an 8-minute video. I'm not going to show it right now, but this is very good when you're introducing it to your students. Coming from teacher's lens, how to use Google from teacher's lens. There are very interesting things that you will find here and something that are good too. Okay, instant search card. This is again something, I am a big fan of Eric Kurtz and I read his blogs a lot. And this was in one of the blogs, instant search card. We all know that Google is a search engine, but not all of us know that it works beyond being a search engine. So if on a search engine, I write timer, sorry, it's going to provide me with timers. So when I'm having a lot of station rotations in a class and each station is 20 minutes. So what I do is I put this timer on my smart board and I run it so that the students can see when it is almost time to be up, and it's more for time management, I would say. There's a timer as well. Now, there might be times when you're having a lot of activities in the class, and to make it more interesting, you want to roll a die. So all you have to write is roll a die. And there you go. Student, Google can roll a die for you. Oh, it's bringing 5 each time. Oh, there you go. We are 3 now. Similarly, Google can flip a coin for you. So let's say flip, and there you go. It flips the coin for us. Now, in the high school, I would say not to tell this to your student, but yes, Google can even bring graphs for your equation. So if we go, I go ahead and type this in my Google search engine, it's going to bring a graph for me. So this is very easy way for them to cheat, but yeah, it's just for your awareness purposes that I'm telling you that it can actually look for an equation as well. If you want to know more about all these instant search cards, there's a list down here. It shows flip a coin, roll a die, definitions, which we talked about earlier. If you're looking for definitions, you write the word define and ask for the definition. You can ask for time, timers. It even works as a calculator. So if you write calculator, there will be a calculator there, and then you can go ahead with the calculation. Conversion is a good one. So let's say I'm looking for 20 centimeters in inches. So there we go. It works as a converter as well. Have a minute or two. These are good, some good ones. Currency conversions, areas. These are easy way to find out things. So I've attached a link in there, and whenever you have a minute, you can go ahead and look at them. Now, I always feel that whenever my students are researching, either they are spending too less time on research, or they are spending days and days and hours, and they are being lost in their research. So whenever I give them a research project, I always train them to time themselves every day, that how much time they are going to spend on their project. They should not be spending more than half an hour on the research. Then how much time are they going to spend on slides? If they're working so hard, how much time are they going to go on the games? So this task timer extension is one of the extensions that helps in managing time. I'm hoping that you all know how to install an extension. All you have to do is you go to Chrome Web Store and look for the extension you're looking for. I go to Chrome Web Store and I write task timer. You can either go through that list and look for the one you're looking for, or you type in here and it's going to bring you that one. Since I've already installed that extension, so it's not giving me the option to add to Chrome. If you're installing it for the first time, it will show you a blue button that says add to Chrome. And then the moment you click on add to Chrome, it's going to add it somewhere here on the top. So if you already see that there's a task timer extension there. So if I go and I click on task timer, it lets me choose start the timer for. I can allot a time for the slides, I can allot a time for the games and research, and it will start the timer whenever I want to start it. Now, that timer has two options. Either it can keep on running for 24/7, or it can be reset like by midnight. So let's say today you worked for half an hour, it's going to reset by the end of, by the midnight, and tomorrow you start fresh for half an hour. So this is one of the extensions you can use for keeping track of the time for the students. They can keep track of themselves, I would say. Now, the next one, draft bag. I think that most of you might be aware of this because this is not a new extension, but I feel this is very important when it comes to research. Because what happens that students are researching at home, it's very difficult for a teacher to know whether they are copying the text or they are paraphrasing the text. As a teacher, I want to check whether the student has actually paraphrased the text or they're just copying it from somewhere. One way to do is I go ahead and I check the revision history. So I go to File and I see the revision history. So that tells me when was the student on this text, on this research, how much time that student has spent on the research. But then I have to click on each single version. The other way of doing this is I go to Chrome Web Store the way I just showed you for Task Timer extension. I look for the extension that's called Draft Bag. And the moment I click Add to Chrome, Draft Bag is not going to be added on the top. Instead, you are going to see it on the dock itself. There will be a button that says Draft Bag. It's like a video that shows you how the student worked on it. So if they're copying text, you will see paragraphs popping in instead of words. So let's say if I play that, it's going to take a minute depending on the length of the document, how much time, and I can view it. So if you see, this shows me that the student was typing and not copying. So maybe if you show the student once on the smartboard that this is how you can check how they are researching, maybe they won't even go ahead and copy the text. They might be writing it. They will be putting in more effort. I love this extension personally. Okay. So this pops up on the dock and not on the top. Okay, now research is something that the students get really bored of during the middle because it's a long project. These are some of the things that we can, these are more for the teachers, and I would say how they can look cool with the students. So if, now most of the time games are blocked on a student's computer, but if, let's say they type Atari Breakout and they go for images, I would say this is more for the teachers and not for the students. I'm going to close this because this noise is annoying, but this is something cool. Now coming to one army of zeros invading your screen. So if I write zerg rush, so you see zeros raining down and they're going to break whatever they are landing on. Google is not only working for academic things, Google is working at fun things as well. So you might walk out of the room and you write this and the entire screen goes breaking, and then this is more for elementary kids and they might feel that, oh, what happened to my screen? Okay, so if you want to see how the Google is crashing, if you write Google Gravity, there you go, it crashes. Okay, want to be famous and impress people? So we go to this website. And so there you go. You see your name there instead of Google. You have your name up there. Okay, how can we roll our screen? So if we write do a barrel roll, There you go. The screen is rolling. These things are, students really find these things very cool. Okay, now we are done with researching. We know how to do efficient researching, and we talked about all the tools. How can we improve it? But my experience with the students, so the moment you say research, they feel that, oh, it's a month assignment that is coming. They have to relate it to academics, and over the period of time, like they pick up very quick, but there comes a middle point when they lose the interest, and then comes the slight part where they pick up again. So I was reading a lot of articles in this, and I come across this quote that says, at 4, a child has 400 questions, but at 14, their teacher has 400 questions for them. So this is the traditional form of teaching, and new concept that's called passion-based learning, or we call it Genius R. So let's say we have to ask ourselves a question that, are we challenging our kids enough? We are very well catering to all the kids that are below average or average. Are we challenging the kids that are of higher capabilities, abilities? Are we challenging our gifted or not? So even gifted, or even I would say even average kids. So there's a concept of Genius Hour, or something called 20% time. According to this, a teacher spends 20% of the class time within a week, or maybe 1 hour within the week, where the students get to research on their passion. You are not allotting a topic to them. They are the ones selecting it and then getting improved from them. So I worked with my gifted intervention specialist in my school, and she's doing it with 5th and 6th grade. So I will actually show you a few of the examples they came up with. So one of them said that I'm going to create a website about helping the environment. You can even never imagine the kind of topics they pick and how they want to represent that topic. So she wants to work for the environment, and she wants to create a website, and she created one. Then there was another one. He wanted to develop, show the development of Earth through Minecraft. One who wanted to play ukulele. So she actually learned ukulele and played a song for the class. Then one of them created a video about NBA basketball predictions made after studying the teams and players. Then read Goodnight Moon in a sign language. If you see, there is so much variety in here, the things they are picking up, and they're learning those things on their own. And because they are the one choosing those topics, it's their passion. They love this Genius. How to speak French, then how to bake and create a cookbook, and a YouTube channel about how to solve Rubik's Cube. If you are interested, a lot of schools, a lot of teachers are doing this Genius Hour. If you want more information as to how to get started, this is a blog from Edutopia, and there are loads of tips how to get started, how what are their experience, what works in their class and what didn't work in their class. And then this is also a very good website. This is like a resource in its own. So it will tell you that, okay, what are the different categories students can pick their topics from, then what are the websites they can go to. Like it even has templates and flyers that you can send home with the students. And then it tells them what are the websites they can get their things from. Wonderfulness is one of the best. DIY is a good one. Make is a good one. So this website is complete in itself. It has all the resources that you're looking for. Now, all of us have different ways of being connected with the world. Some of us follow people on Twitter. Some of us are Google community people. Some of us still do live binders. So if you are one of the live binder person, so I have actually put a link there that takes you to a live binder, which is all the information that's related to Genius R. It talks about helping students research, sharing with the world, reflections, assessment, how to get started with Genius R. So most of these websites will give you similar information, but it will give you in the format that you like. So if you're a Google community person, then there is a community that's called 20% time. You can join that community and you will get all the updates from that community. if you're a Twitter person. So this is where, and I like this Twitter one a lot because it has a lot of resources and it shows. You can even chat with the people you're interested in and how they implemented it. Coming back to my resources, I think I'm good on time. I have some time for questions. I use MIT libraries to find information about Google. Eric Kurt's Hipster Google is a good post where he talks about what are 10 different Google tools that are not everyone is familiar with. Now, I was talking about Anthony's webinar earlier during the presentation. This is a webinar that's really good, and if you have time, I would suggest that go through. And it also talks about some of the search engines, some kids-friendly search engines that are really good. Some of you might be already Google certified. This is another place I would actually show you. This is the place. I think this link is not working. I will fix it. This is the place where we do our Google certified training. It has a lot of material for research. How to use Google Scholar, images. This is another good place that you can learn things from. If you are looking for the link for my presentation, this is the link. You're more than welcome to make a copy of my presentation. You can show it to your students. You can modify the presentation. Okay, I think I'm ready for questions. So I will bring my screen back.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Nidhi.
Welcome.
Back over here. We do have the one question was about your, you mentioned searching Google Scholar. There was like an 8-minute video. Do you have the link for that you could put onto the question sheet and or show again?
Yes, absolutely. So in my presentation, there's a link for that video. So if they make a copy of my presentation, it will be there.
Okay, great. Yep, and I'll add it to this question sheet for those people watching the recording later too. So I'll grab it off of there. Okay, and it doesn't look like there's any other questions. I think at least not in the form. So I don't think there's anything else.
Okay.
So I would like to thank you, Nidhi, for your time and your presentation. And what I'd like to do. It was a pleasure. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I do want to remind everybody this is recorded, so if there's parts you want to refer back to or show little snippets to your students or to your teachers, there's some great tidbits in there that Nidhi has shared with us. So please keep that in mind. Also, I want to remind everyone, I will share my screen here as well. I want to just point out that you'll get a link to this evaluation. And let me show you, it'll look something like this if you can fill that out. And we like to share those results with the presenters as well as our own team and see what we can do to improve if you have any suggestions. But again, this document will be here if you have additional questions that you come up with in the next day or so, and then I'll lock it back down. But other than that, I think we're all set. Keep watching the calendar site for more events coming up. We got several to be put on the calendar here in the rest of April and May. So keep that in mind. Again, I want to thank you, Nidhi, for presenting. Appreciate it again. And until next time, everybody, we'll talk to you later. Thanks.
Thank you.